right, camera is set up, microphone is on. Let me just grab a couple of parts here. All right, looks like about a minute has passed, so now we will be starting the stream, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Yesterday, we've left off where we basically put the valve cover back on with all the little gaskets and seals and all that fun stuff, and we've put the spark plugs in, okay? The goal for today, if I can achieve it, is to put on the spark plug coils. While we're here, we will replace the EGR valve, which is located behind this valve cover, and then we will move on to the other half of the engine. We'll start removing this valve cover, and we'll get to work on that and see how we do. I anticipate the EGR valve taking a little bit of time, though, because I want to clean that tube. We'll do what we can. All right, let me remove these paper towel-y bits. I just left that there overnight just so nothing bad would fall in there. All right. And what we have here are our brand new spark plug coils. The image on the box is deceiving. It's the part number that we care about. Now, on the previous episode, we've actually inspected this order, so all of this has already been opened. But we'll sort of do it one more time anyway. Nice. Crisp. Clean. All right. I believe there's nothing to it. It should just slide right on. Although it's a little bit unnerving. I mean, that's going to be a tight seal. I hope that's the way it'll be. All right. Seems to be not a bad fit. I thought it'd be more complicated. Okay. So I've looked at the Haynes manual. They don't give us torque specifications. So I'm just going to go and do it hand tight. Well, when I say hand tight, I guess what I really mean is hand snug, right? Let me find the bit that I've set aside here. There it is. And I guess the best way I can do this will be to use the ratcheting mechanism here. Let's see if I can figure this out. I could use a screwdriver, but a ratchet will give me more force here. Let me see. I've got to have something that'll fit this, right? Got to. Already a great start to this episode here. All right, so 6mm is too small. What about 7? Is this the 7? 7mm too large. What about these? All right, that doesn't quite help my situation. I thought I could mount this bit onto a ratchet, but I guess I'm too silly to figure it out or something. I don't know. Anyway, or you know what? Before I even do this, now that I think about it, let me put some anti-seize on these screws. Yeah, that might be wise. Let me do that. And you know what? I don't think I'm even going to do anything crazy. I think I'm just going to drop a bead in there, drop a bead in there. And what that'll do is that will gently coat the threads, but not provide enough to, cause like mass disturbance or anything crazy like that. All right, let's drop this back on. Push this down all the way. Nice. And just screw it into place, right? As easy as that. So even though I haven't gotten, torque specifications for this part, I'm still trying to sort of put it on evenly. And you know what? I feel like hand tight is actually very tight. I don't know if I want to do more than that. Maybe I will, because it still feels a little bit loose. Oh, that's definitely tight all the way. Okay. So I guess the screws will go into a certain point and then it feels like you hit a wall. So I guess, oh yeah, that's definitely tight there. So let me just, with my wrist here, not putting too much force here, but just keeping it. Yeah, that's like super snug. As a matter of fact, I worry that might be too tight, but I guess if it heats up, it'll loosen up a little bit. We'll see how it does. For now, this is just, I'm just going to go with it, I guess. That seems plenty tight. And that's kind of held in place there by that washer. Well, not that washer. It has like a little gasketed component that fits even over this, right? So maybe we'll be all right. Drop another bead of that anti-seize in there. And you know what? While I'm here, let me go ahead and drop some in here and drop some in here. Not huge beads, just like little water droplet sized beads. Next one. Same deal, spanking brand new part. And it's a pretty good fit. Yeah, see, it has like this little collar piece, and then that provides like a very snug seal. You kind of have to like forcefully push it in, but it feels gummy. It's like a very satisfying feeling. I actually quite like it a lot. And that's also, I guess, how I know it sits over the spark plug, that it successfully got over it. All right. Again, I don't have torque specifications, but I'm trying to somewhat evenly put them on, I guess. All right, now we're getting pretty tight here, so I'm just gonna going little by little. Oh, that one's already felt like it's very well in place, and this one as well. Okay, gently with the wrist now. Yep, I'm not like forcing it, but that feels very tight. And also I've thrown the trash here at my feet. So let me collect that and throw it out. And also grab the third one. Ah, there it is. I was wondering what I did with it. Warning, this product can expose you to chemicals including lead, which is known to the state of California to cause cancer and birth defects. Oh, good we're not in California, right? I swear, in California, somebody looks at you the wrong way, you get cancer. All right, there's the next one. This one looks new. Right. Nice, clean, rubbery bit, and in it goes. Yeah, these individual spark plug coils, I highly recommend you get them on Rock Auto. I think I've mentioned it in the previous episode, but at the auto parts store, they're like $70 each. Rock Auto, they're like 20, 28. Remember, the downside with Rock Auto is that you have to have it shipped. You can't have it immediately, right? But the reason it's that much cheaper is because they don't have brick and mortar locations. They don't have to pay rent, property taxes. They don't have to pay for people, clerks, cashiers. They don't have to pay to stockpile parts. Rock Auto, they just ship from warehouses directly. So that's why it's cheaper. But again, the downside, it's a pretty major downside, is that you have to wait for shipping. I guess we're lucky in that we don't need the car right away, so we can take our time. As a matter of fact, that's kind of what we've been doing. This is episode 8. So at least 8 days we've been working on this already. So we have time. No major rush. All right, push that down all the way. Seems to be good to go. I guess it would have been nice to have these started with the Makita, but whatever. They don't necessarily take crazy long either, so it's fine. So we've removed the valve cover, we've cleaned it up, we've put new gaskets on, we've put it back on, we've fitted new spark plugs. Now we've just about finished fitting on new coils. And this is just for one of the valve covers. We have the other side to do as well. And then, of course, we have to put all the wiring harness back on, all the connectors back on. Then we got to put the fuel injectors back on, gasket for the air intake plenum back on. All right, that's pretty tight actually by hand. So that's going to be good to go. One more jiggle, make sure that's rock solid. It is. Just one more twist of the wrist here. Make sure that's all good. And it is. This one could be a little bit tighter. There we go. All right. All right. I guess that looks good. Wonderful. EGR tube. Now, the EGR itself, I think I might have mentioned it before, it doesn't need replaced per se, but we're here. And I'll be damned if I have to do this from underneath the car again. So, you know what? This thing's only a couple years old, the EGR. I'm just gonna remove it. I'm not even gonna like wait any longer, right? If that makes sense. Now, to do that, I have to find a way to get to it. Easier said than done here. From underneath the car, you could sort of lay down, right? From above the car, you cannot. Bit of a downside. Let me see if I could maybe place the tripod in such a way. Yeah, this little silver can at the back, that's what we're trying to pull out. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, you're just going to have to take my word for all of this, and you're going to have to feel it by hand, I guess, if you're doing this on your own. Anyway, there's a connector here with the red tab. Probably be best to use a screwdriver to pull that red tab out. Screwdriver. Bump, 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 bump. Silly tube. Let me put that. Oh. Okay, I've lost a piece of paper in the engine bay. That's a new priority. Let me get that before it gets tangled up in something or catches fire when I turn the car on, God forbid. Okay. Right. Little bundle of joys. This car, this project that we've taken on. Quite fun. Okay, I think the play here is going to be to just reach in between the fuel rail here and just, if I get it with my 2 fingers. I think I have. Yes, very good. Lucky me. All right, let me plug this tube back up. And this time I'm going to put it higher up on the windshield. And I'm going to move the camera again on you guys. Sorry. There's no real nice way of giving you guys a good vantage point here. So let me put you guys... I guess I just have to put you guys here for now. I'm sorry. Yeah, if I could even find a place, there we go. And let me tighten this part here for the phone. Yes. All right. This is what we're dealing with, our viewing angle here. Right. Let me avoid knocking things deeper into the engine bay. And let me push out this red tab that you guys almost certainly can't see. I'm sorry. Come on, out you go. Silly red tab. Right. There it goes. Red tab pulled out. Now the connector. There's a part at the top, I think, that you have to push down, and it's really rigid. I hate these plastic connectors. They're difficult. They're awful. But there it is. Connector is off. All right, what else? So the tube, of course, I don't know if you guys can, yeah, you guys can see it. The tube is out. Okay. I think this is the knock sensor cable. Let me put that by the fuel rail so that I don't lose it deeper in the engine bay somehow. Okay. Transmission dipstick is over here. Let me... Okay, so this copper tube, I call it a copper tube. I don't know if it's actually copper. It's held on by 2 bolts down here below. So I'm going to try and get those. I don't remember what size they are. I'm going to take a wild guess and try a 10 millimeter. You know what? Let me put this on on a wrench here. before I drop the socket into the engine bay. And let me get like a little stubby extension. All right, maybe this will be just a bit better. All right, is it a 10? 10, I believe, is too big. Downsize a little bit here. What do I have? If it's not a 10, then will it be an 8? I wonder. All right, trying 8 millimeters. Maybe you guys can get a better field of view here. Let's see. Yeah, the problem is the phone is top heavy. So if I set you guys at a strange angle, you'll topple right over. Um, this is as good as it's going to get, I'm afraid. And even then, it's kind of in the way. Not ideal. Make some more room here for myself. Okay. Yeah, no, actually, I'm going to have to move you guys. I'm sorry. I know you guys probably just got comfortable in that spot, but I'm going to move you again. Oh, come on. I can like almost... That would almost be the perfect view if the camera would stay put. You know what? Let me extend the legs. Oh, okay. Maybe this will work. So far, it appears like it wants to cooperate with us. Anyway, where was I? Size 8. Everything is still in the way here. I think it might be a size 8. If only I had like a 1-inch extension. That would have been great. You know what? What about my deep socket set? Do I have an 8 millimeter in my deep sockets? I might have the answer. There is a chance. No, it only goes down to 9, the deep sockets. Wah, wah, wah. Let's see. Yeah, whatever. We'll just have to make do. Make do. This stupid transmission dipstick is more trouble than it's worth. Well, hang on. Maybe I could get a good angle on that. Going back and forth here, back and forth, but we'll get it. I promise. Yes, and by the way, it is an 8mm. I don't know how I'm going to get the torque wrench in here, but we'll worry about that when we get there. All right, now hopefully these should just come out by hand now. Actually, I'm leaning against the fender an awful lot. Let's see if I could find some kind of towel or something to put over it. Or it's whatever, I guess. I don't care too much. Try to do this without knocking you guys over. Gonna need my left hand. I might knock you guys over. If I do, I apologize. Now, I don't remember if there's a gasket between this component. I believe there is. So we just have to be careful not to drop the gasket deep down. I also don't want to drop this bolt down the engine. Okay, so I don't want to drop this bolt. I don't want to drop the gasket, and I don't want to drop this tube. So we just have to patiently, by hand, unscrew everything and just hope for the best. Okay, I think the bolt might be out. Okay, that's one bolt. And I'm going to set that aside. One more. Come on. Come on. Got to get it at the right angle because now that one of these is off, it becomes difficult to get the other one off because the metal pinches it, if that makes sense. Oh, come on. Oh, progress, progress. Come on. I'm getting there. This is such an uncomfortable position, though. I'm like on my tiptoes, leaned over the side of the car, both hands in the engine bay, trying not to touch too much or lose anything. Oh, I'm like so close. Come on. Oh, there it goes. And I've got the gasket off with it. Yes. All right. Yeah, so here's that paper gasket, that bolt, and then that metal tube. And then this metal collar just slides over the tube. All right, so that's our EGR tube out. And I have to remember it was a paper gasket that was over this part. Don't let me get confused later. All right. For now, I'm going to leave that rubber seal in there to remind me to clear it later. Otherwise, I'll probably forget. All right, so that's the tube off. I don't know. You're probably not going to be able to see, but there is some slight carbon buildup in there. Nothing crazy, but we'll hit it with carb cleaner before we stick it back in. All right. I will set this part aside for now and continue with the removal of the EGR valve that you guys cannot see because of this stupid wiring harness in the bag setup that I have here. Now, the bolts on the EGR valve itself. I don't believe those are 8 millimeters. If I recall, they're slightly bigger. Let's try a size 10. And do I even remember where these are? Let's see. Feel around here. That's the thing. Now that I'm up to this point, I have to feel with my hands. As a matter of fact, let me look at the new EGR valve that I have in the box. That will show me where the parts are. Okay. Off camera, I am looking at the new part, and it looks like to get to the bolt, I have to go pretty much under the valve. You know what? How about I just show you guys? All right, so here's the new part that I'm pulling out of the bag here. Okay, we've just pulled off the copper tube from this part. This part is what's on the engine bay, and you'll notice the holes are accessible. This is the underside of the valve, by the way. This is disorienting to look at, but yes. You can access the holes, but you have to go under from the bottom of the valve. So that's what we'll try. Let me put this back in the bag here before this somehow gets dirty. This, I feel like, will be the play that we will make. Our smart move here. Go under. You know, if I feel like, if you feel like this is difficult now, oh, you guys can't see again. Yeah, if you feel like this is difficult now, imagine how awful it is with the intake manifold on, and you have to try to do this from underneath the whole car. Even worse. Even worse. All right, I might knock you guys over. There's a one bolt I can fit. Oops, I fell. Slipped, I mean. There we go. And let me fix you all here. All right. It's uncomfortable to get to, but we will get to it one way or another. It'd be great if I could take the hood off of the car and then just sort of lay a wooden plank over the engine bay and then just like lay on that plank. All right, let me lower the tool in. Try to feel for it with my hands. No, it's not. You know what? Would be good if I could just jam a mirror down there. Do I have a mirror? Wife unit would probably kill me if I took one of her makeup mirrors. Okay, folks. I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to move the camera. You guys won't be able to see. I'm sorry, but I just need the room right now to work. I'll try and put you guys here so you can see maybe some of it. All right. But I just need all the working room I can get right now. Let's see. Oh, I'm on it. And I do believe it is a 10 millimeter. Oh, I put this on pretty tight, didn't I? Break it loose. Come on. I don't think it's supposed to be this tight. I might have done it wrong when I installed it first time. That does not want to move. Okay, let me take this off and let me verify that this is in fact the right size before I start ruining things. I believe it is a 10 millimeter. I'm going to go here and put this on by hand and feel it to see if it's a very snug fit or what. The worst thing I could do right now is strip. No, that's a perfect fit. Okay. I don't have a larger wrench. The next largest thing I have is breaker bar. And I worry the breaker bar will be too aggressive. So we will keep trying this by hand. Oh, this is such a not nice feeling. I hate it when things take this much force. Oh, but I think I felt it loosening up. That or I'm stripping the head of the bolt, which would be a nightmare scenario. No, I think I loosened it. I hope I loosened it. If I strip the head of the bolt, oh, scary. Right, I'm just going to take this off for now. Maybe I can manipulate it by hand. Not quite. But let me get the other one loosened up. Because when you remove things asymmetrically, sometimes they just sort of come off crookedly and like the metal pinches the bolt and then it becomes more difficult to take off. See, I'm sorry that you guys can't quite see, but now that the phone is out of the way, I can sort of vaguely see what I am doing here, which is important. Importante. You know what? I would benefit from a second light. How am I going to do this? Second light, second light. Whatever. Just going to keep trying. Unfortunately, it's like being half blind. You're trying to find a dark colored bolt or the dark colored space located underneath something. It's not easy. But you know what? How about this? Let me take the wrench off and let me just use this and put it by hand. Maybe then I will get to. Oh, yeah, and that was so much easier. And leave that in there and hope it doesn't fall. Nightmare scenario if it did. Okay. And the way I'm going to want to put this on is this way. Just go on, please. Don't protest. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. This is good. This is good. All right, same deal here. I'm probably just going to have to wail on it a little bit. Oh, then this one was much easier to take off. Maybe I like torqued them down asymmetrically or something. But now, this time around, I have a torque wrench, so our life will be that much easier. Though this is going to be a very small space, actually. And that's it. I hit the roof of the engine bay, so it's going to be tricky to get a torque wrench down there, but we will try. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? Is that how the saying goes? Please don't fall apart in a million pieces. Okay, so far so good. And I can move that by hand. Okay, good. Good. I'm going to stick my hand down here now, make sure nothing falls. If something fell, I would be very sad. I'm going to take this back, put it down here. Again, not fully seeing what I am doing, which is always amazing. Uh-oh, that was close. I almost dropped it. You know what? I can kind of twist that by hand almost. Let's see if I can. Come on. Be easy on me, please. No, it doesn't want to be easy on me. Okay. Oh, I need a new glove. Nice. I will change gloves in a bit. It's just I'm up to the exciting part now. Oh, come on. I'm like so close to taking that off. I still can't get it by hand. I keep trying here. We are so close, folks. Just needs more. Oh, that would have fallen. Gee. Let's try that again. All right, maybe now I can get it going by hand. Please. Please. Not quite. All right, let me replace this glove because it's busted here, busted here, and busted here. So let me replace this glove. Just one moment, please. All right. I have returned with a fresh glove and a fresh attitude. In a good way. Let's keep swimming. Ooh. Okay, one of the bolts came loose. I'm just gonna take this out of the way. Loose as in out of the engine. So let me get it all the way out so I don't drop it. There we go. That's out. One more bolt, and it's stubborn. I mean, I knocked it loose, but it just doesn't want to come off. Holy moly, what a stubborn piece. I forget how annoying this was. I dropped the gasket. But this is that old one off. I'll show it to you guys later. I just have to fish that gasket out. It could not have fallen far, and as a matter of fact, it did not. So, gently now. I think I've got it. Yes. Okay. Here's that gasket component. I don't remember which way it went in, but that's all right. I guess it's roughly. It doesn't matter, I guess. Anyway. All of that pain and sorrow was to remove the paper gasket, the metal gasket, the copper tube that we will clean in a bit, and of course the old EGR valve, which was getting a little bit sooty, but I'm just going to replace it to restart that like 10-year counter or however long these last. So this is a perfectly like advantageous, I guess, moment to do so. Anyway, we are almost an hour in, so what I will do is, I guess, handle the most frustrating part first, which would be to put on the EGR, the new one. If I could remember how I even had the camera, probably don't remember. Shoot. I had such a great camera angle, I think, or better than it was anyway, and I can't remember. I guess we'll just have to settle with that. Now let's see. How do I want to do this? We will get our new part and our metal gasket. Okay, off camera, I'm just going to take a clean paper towel, spray the paper towel with brake cleaner, and then just clean the surfaces off of this new EGR valve. Let me find the brake clean. Here it is. This stuff smells good, but it's probably so terrible for your health. Anyway, here's the shiny brand new EGR valve. Here's that little paper towel that I prepared, and all I'm doing is just rubbing this brake cleaner on over here. I mean, this probably is a perfectly clean surface. I don't think cleaning it did much, but just in case there's some kind of funky oil or particulate, I'll just clean it off. Give it a second to dry. Right. If I recall correctly, in the Haynes manual, before starting the video today, I've read that the bolts that mount to the engine go on at, I think it was 23 foot-pounds of force, of torque, I guess. And the little bolts that hold the little copper thingy in place hold, like 8 foot-pounds-ish. Very small force. So what we will do is we will mount the EGR valve to the engine, and then we will clean out the tube, and then we will mount that to the EGR valve. So we're going to do this in like 2 stages. I know it doesn't make sense now, especially since I'm not moving the camera around, but I got you guys at a good spot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take anti-seize, the silvery stuff, and I'm going to put it onto 2 big bolts that go into the engine for the EGR valve. And I'm going to try to get them to not touch anything. Well, they most likely will anyway. Touch nothing, please. Off camera, I'm just coating the threads with this anti-seize stuff. Where's the cap? Here it is. Cap. All right. I'm going to use my finger to just work it a light coating into the threads here. And what that'll do is it just makes it nicer and easier for us to work with later. Set that down gently. Absolutely do not tip it over. Otherwise, we introduce garbage into the threads potentially, or we end up putting silver stuff everywhere. No fun either way. All right. So here's how I coated it. You'll see that it's only like 2/3 of the way. That's because only about that much goes into the engine anyway. So I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to wipe the excess off of my hands. All right. Before this stuff gets everywhere all over my clothes and my car and my tools and my house. This stuff is potent. It gets everywhere. All right. Now I'm going to get the metal gasket. I'm going to get the metal gasket and I'm going to sit it on top of this EGR valve looking thing. All right. Off camera, I have the gasket sitting on the EGR valve. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the bolt through it. I think this gasket is maybe like the bolt holes on it are small enough that I can sort of thread the bolts onto the EGR valve through the gasket. And that looks like that is the case. I'm a lucky man today. Good. I'll show you guys what I mean in just a minute here. Okay, that's the one. Let me put on the other one. You know what? Putting it on might be easier than taking it off. Let's see how that works for us. All right, so here's what I've got. The two bolts with the anti-seize on the gasket on the EGR valve. And I guess this has like a recessed, like a ridge, I guess. Since this is a completely smooth face, then I'm guessing this ridge goes towards the engine. And whether I flip it this pointy side down or this pointy side up, it doesn't seem to make a big difference. But it looks like this wide side is supposed to be on this wide portion and circular side is supposed to be on the short portion, I think. Anyway, let's put this puppy in. Now the one tricky part, all right, is going to be to find those bolt holes. Now, it's gonna be hard. Okay. It would be a lot easier with like a mirror, some lighting. Is that the big hole or the bolt hole or what? I have no clue. Okay, I think I have one big hole and two small. I think that's the way it goes. Tricky, I tell you. Right. Nothing quite like feeling around blindly in the bottom of an engine bay. So like this, I think, maybe. Shoot. I really can't see what I'm doing. Not ideal. No, of course I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, I have my like fingers over the bolt holes, but then to put this in, I have to move my hand out of the way, and then when I move my hand out of the way, I lose, of course, the positioning of where I had the fingers, which is so sad. It's tricky. No pain, no gain, right? What's life if not pain and misery? All right, let me put this in first, maybe, and then try and feel around with my hands. Maybe that might be the play. And it seems it might be. Let's try. Right. I have to blindly guide it in. I think I've got it. Oh, come on. Okay. I believe I've got it. It does take a little bit of patience. I think that's the way it goes. So let's give it a try. If it threads on, we know we're in business. In theory. Okay. That one seems to have done well. Let's see this. I think this would have been the hardest part, honestly. So if we can get this done, that would be good. Yeah, all right. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to tighten those down by hand, and then I'm going to bring out the torque wrench. And we'll try with the torque wrench. I might have lied. The torque wrench actually might be the hardest part about all of this, which will be coming up in just a moment. Because there's like just no room to put that torque wrench. But judging by how unevenly I had it torqued down originally, I'm going to want to bring that torque wrench. Because this one, this bolt that I'm doing right now, this was a lot harder to take off than the other bolt. So I'm just going to want to use a torque wrench anyway. Having big hands in a small engine bay is terrible. But we're making do. Doing all right here. This is taking forever. I'm starting to wonder if if I did this right, if I got these in the right holes. I think I have. There just wouldn't be two random perfectly fitting bolt holes in here, perfectly spaced apart for a 10mm bolts. But I'm like tightening it and tightening it and tightening it and tightening it. Jeez. How much more? Oh, I think I'm starting to get somewhere finally. All right. All right, that's pretty tight. Let's move on to the next one down here, and then we'll bring out the torque wrench. All right, torque wrench time. Come on, get off. There we go. Right. So the torque wrench, we've got to set to 23 pounds. All right. I've got the torque wrench set to 23 pounds. I've got my 10mm socket. And this is going to be, I think, maybe the hardest part. Somehow, this long, big wrench has to fit inside this tiny, cramped engine bay. Oh, it's not looking fun. I don't know if I could even get a torque wrench on that, honestly. This will be tricky, folks. How am I going to be able to do this? Okay. I may have a method. It's going to be mad, but I may have a method. Let's see. Let's see what I can fit together here. This on. Take this on. All right. There's our 10 millimeter. Okay. You guys will see what I'm, if I can get this to work, you guys will see what I'm cooking up in just a second here. Okay. So, this is stupid, but it's the only way I see how this is going to work. I'll explain in one moment here. We have our 10 millimeter socket attached to an extension, attached to a 90-degree, which will be attached to a hex to, I guess, 1/4 inch attachment like so. All right, so now we could put this on a bigger adapter and put this on the torque wrench. This is nutty, this contraption here, but it will allow us to actually get down and in there. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to swap out this middle segment to make it just a little bit shorter of an extension. I think I have a smaller piece. Or is this the smallest? Perhaps this is the smallest. It is. Anyway, let's see what we can do here. All right, and to compensate for all of this, all of these connectory bits, I'm going to up the torque on this wrench to, let's see, it's at 23, so let's go 24, 25, 26. Let's up it up to 26, okay, foot-pounds. So we've added on all these connectory bits, which will cause some torsion loss, but we've added on some other bits here that will maybe help us. Well, no, I've I've added these on. It'll cause torsion loss if I could just catch my thoughts here. It'll cause torsion loss, but we've set the wrench higher. There we go. That's what I meant to say. To compensate for this. So let's fit that on there. Let's get our wrench, which is set to 26 pounds, which now magically fits. Or you know what? Let me put an extension on that. Why not? Since I'm just coming up short here. This is crazy and genius. Probably just crazy, honestly. But anyway. The reason I did this, if you weren't following, is we are now able to reach. We're now able to reach. This stupid transmission dipstick is in the way here. And now my phone is. Okay, guys, I have to move you. I'm sorry. If this actually works, well, that'd be pretty neat, I think. as crazy and ridiculous as this is, let's see here what we have. Right, the stupid transmission dipstick is in the way. Stupid wiring harness is in the way. Yeah, you know what? This actually kind of sucks. There's just too many segments in here that it's actually the metal on all of these segments is twisting before I could even get any appreciable amount of torque out. So this is not going to work. So this is not going to work. How can I make it work? Let's see. Yeah, no. It's an interesting idea, but very silly, honestly. Let's take all of this off. Back to the drawing board. That's just not going to work for us. Points for creativity, though, am I right? Maybe a little bit, slightly perhaps. Come on, you got to admit that was creative. A little bit. Watch me try again, and now it somehow magically fits. Watch this thing just magically work now. Well, I'm hoping it magically works. Jeez. All right. Well, I guess we're not going to use the torque wrench because I just don't see how we can possibly fit that in there. There's like a little roof part over here. Yeah, no, I'm just going to have to do it by hand here. Isn't that just terrific? I wish they made torque wrenches that were tiny. Let me just look at this one more time here. Before I just give up on the torsion specifications, let me just look here one more time. Okay, this one, I could maybe, this wrench is just too crazy long. Unless I put an extension in it, and then if I drop this further down, okay, all right, that's a method. Let me get an extension and let me try this out. Basically, I just went deeper and further down into the engine bay with all the cabling. Let's see. Let me do I have a medium extension? Medium might be too big. Let me try medium. Let's see where this takes us. Frustration-free packaging. Not. All right. Maybe now it'll do what we want it to. We'll start with the bottom bolt. There it goes, and I hope it doesn't fall anywhere or go anywhere deeper, because that's just irritating when it does stuff like that. Shove this in all the way very deep. Okay, I'm gonna want a slightly shorter extension. It turns out that the long one is in fact long. No problem. I feel like we're getting somewhere. As long as there's progress, I feel okay. As a matter of fact, let me use this one. This seems to be like a happy medium right here. And maybe I can move the camera back to show you guys exactly what I'm doing. I'm surprised I haven't gotten any low battery warnings yet on the camera. But I suspect this is all we're going to have time for today, folks. Is to bolt this EGR valve on and call it a night. It's probably around like 9 o'clock already. Getting late. If I could just have this on in such a way that it doesn't fall over. There we go. Right. Double check that is set correctly, I believe. Yes. All right. Try again. Oh, this is so awful. Stupid transmission dipstick. All right. Something between large and medium then. Let's see if I have. Oh, just as I was talking about the low battery warning, there it popped up. So my time is now limited. Let's try here to put this back on. Or you know what? There is another method here. I could actually open up the deep sockets I bought. This is a 10 millimeter that I have right now. So what if I get the deep 10 along with the small connector? That comes out to be just marginally smaller. Okay. Okay. Marginally smaller is good. I have a deep socket onto the small extension. Please grant me just the clearance that I need. Please, pretty please. Back in we go. Okay. It's uncomfortable. I don't like it. But we're getting somewhere. Oh, come on. Okay, this is just Christ. That's tough. Okay, I'm just gonna try this one more time. And if it doesn't work, I think I've just got to give up a little bit. All right. One final attempt here. Shoot, if this like red cable wasn't in the way, maybe I would have been able to do fine. Yep. Screw it. It's going on by hand. No torque wrench. We are done playing games. And unfortunately, I don't quite know how much 20 foot-pounds is by hand. I worry that I'm going to put this on too loose or too tight, but again, there's just no way I'm getting a torque wrench on there. So we just have to make do. You ever just give up on something and then just go Hulk on it? Probably not, but that's all right. Same deal here. I don't know how much 20 foot-pounds is, so I'm just getting it tight. I know I'm grunting. I'm sorry, folks. Hey, that's going so easy now. I'm a little bit afraid that if I might have stripped the bolt. That might have been too tight, actually. Okay, what we're gonna do is not mess with this anymore. I think I might have over tightened that bolt to the point that it stripped the threads. I think, which would be very terrible if true. Okay, let me take the glove off, actually, and let me try and feel it by hand. I don't know if the glove is slipping. Well, I've just ruined the glove. Great. I don't know if the glove's... Interesting. Go by hand. Okay. It is my imagination because I am trying to turn this by hand and it's not slipping. You know what? That scared me, so I'm just not going to mess with it. All right, that already appears to be on there pretty solidly. That's fine. All right. We moved a little bit slower than I would have liked today, but we've already been live for an hour and almost 40 minutes. So here's what we've done. Get this wiring harness out of the way. We've installed the brand new coils, 3 of them. These black thingies, those are the coils. And we've removed the old EGR valve, which is this silver canister here. And we've installed the new one. Okay. What we have to do, well, I think this is it for tonight, but what we're going to do when we come back is we're going to clean the EGR tube, which is that copper tube that we took off earlier. And then we're going to mount it onto that EGR valve. And then we can move on to this valve cover. All right, and I think since we know what we're doing, we're going to move a lot quicker. We're going to clean it. We're going to change the gaskets. We're going to put it back on, which might be a one-day process as well, because there's quite a bit of cleaning to do. And then same thing, we'll put new spark plugs, we'll put new coils, we'll put all the wiring harnesses and grounds and everything back together. We'll replace the gasket for the air intake manifold. We'll replace the fuel injectors. We'll put the manifold back on, and that's it. We have to connect everything back up, and that's all that's left. Not a huge amount. It's just stuff that requires a little bit of patience now, I guess. That's all. All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think. Yep. Goodbye, and thanks again. Bye.